So we're going to go ahead and get things going. Last night was amazing. Once again, Ryan and Charlotte, you guys are the co-chairs of Matt Gives Back. We knocked it out of the park. A fantastic event. Good job, guys. We're definitely going to talk more about that later on at the awards lunch. There will be a presentation. So vendors, exhibitors, everybody, we invite you to stay for the awards lunch. We'll do Marina of the Year, some awards, some recognitions. So when you pack up your room, don't leave. Come back. We want you to stay. We've worked hard on the program for this year, and I think we've been a pretty good turnout, and we've been getting a lot of positive feedback. So feedback is welcome. Anything that we can do differently to make this better for you guys, let us know. Anything you'd like to see changed, let us know. Maybe the bar open a little bit later. We're going to talk about that next time we're here. But thank you guys. Thank you all for being here, and you guys are what make this event what it is. So. I've been sitting with Dr. Bobby Hulme-Lippert all day yesterday, and you are a fantastic conversationalist. You really are. He's been great to get to know. We had the pleasure of playing each other in cornhole last night, and not only is he a good conversationalist, he's a fierce competitor. You guys can read the bio. As I've said before, I don't like reading bios, so page 18, and you can go knock yourself out and read all about him. But I'm excited to hear what you've got to say. So please welcome to the stage Dr. Bobby Hulme-Lippert.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. All right. I am so excited to be with you. This has been a blast. This has been an absolute blast to be part of your association, your annual conference. Paula and Dory in particular, who I'm good friends and colleagues with, they really kicked things off well yesterday, and you're going to see a lot of what we have here is pulling the thread about coming back to us and starting with us and all the rest. But before we even get into the material, I want to know, what are some words that kind of represent what the conference has been for you so far? Now, I know some of you, the energy's up and down. As you walked in the door, some of you are like, I'm good, I'm well, but some of you were like, dead honest, I am tired. I can't remember who it was. I was getting my coffee, and they're like, I need a nap. Like that was the answer to how are you doing? I'm like, I appreciate the honesty. Fair enough. Wait, but okay, not just how are you doing, but what's a word or two at this point that just captures your sense of how the conference has been going? What is it? What's the yeah. Motivation. You got a lift of motivation out of this right now. Okay, great. What else? Is refreshing. Ooh, okay, refreshing. Where was that? This way? All right, awesome, refreshing. Anything else? Motivating, refreshing?
Clarity.
Some clarity. Oh, man, life a lot of times feel like we're in a fog. Clarity's a gift. Successful? Did I hear that? Yeah. All right. These are great. So, we're going to kind of pull on some of this energy and hopefully kind of bring it together in a way that helps you sustain some of these sensibilities beyond just today. Some of really what Paula and Dory kicked off with yesterday beyond just this conference. And know that along the way, one thing you will want at one point will be a pen and paper. That will be helpful to you at a couple points, and especially one point, so just be mindful of that. But where I want to start, before we even dive into the material, it's just a question I want you to sit with, and we're going to share with someone next to you in a moment. As you think over this past year, 2025, when's a time when you were most energized? A time, you felt you really were doing some of your best work. Now, it may not have been easy. It may have actually been quite hard. But you're like, when I think about that, man, I was energized. That may relate to your work in the marina. It may not. I'm open to whatever you think. I want you just to take a few moments right now. When was I really energized in 25? I want you just to take a few moments. January, February, the springtime, hitting in towards May, early summer, July 4th, midsummer, rounding into the end, into a new school year, fall season. When were you most energized? Where do you point to? What I want you to do is just and we're not going to do this long, 30, 45 seconds. Find someone right next to you and just share what came to mind for you. And then after about that time, I'll kind of interrupt you and say, okay, let the other person talk. I want you both to just share briefly what came to mind about one time you felt particularly energized in your work. Go. If you haven't already, try and switch. I know that's kind of quick. Maybe you've already switched. Wonderful. But make sure the other person gets a chance to say at least a couple thoughts. Oh, I should have come over here. We could have traded stories. All right. I know that's not enough time. I get it. Some of you are halfway through a moment. But let me at least ask, because I want to honor what some of this might be about. You don't need to tell me details about your moment, the thing you shared. Just what, for you, was the experience of sharing aloud something that was energizing? What did it feel like? What was the experience? There's no right or wrong. Just wondering. Relieving. Okay. Just kind of letting something off. Reliving. There's a couple re's. Relieving, reliving. What else? What the experience of sharing an energized memory?
A little bit of pride or being proud of yourself.
Oh, a little bit of pride. Kind of a different sort of energy. It's like this. I'm proud. This is good. Anything else?
Like a light bulb moment.
A light bulb moment. Okay. Yeah, light energy. Whoa, other side of it, what was it like to listen to somebody else share their energy moment, memory? Also proud. Yeah. Okay, kind of a light bulb as well. Relatable. We're loving these re's. I love it. Relatable. What else? There's no wrong answer. What was it like to hear someone else share their energy memory? Oh, it was exciting. You could feel their energy as the listener.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What is that energy about? What? That just feels, proud, light, energy. What is that substantively? What becomes possible in our work and life if whatever that energy we're just barely naming in this moment can show up for us week after week? Who is that showed up in that moment in 2025? How do I get that energy as a way of being? That is where we're going with this talk, with the resources we're going to unpack together in our time together. And to get there, I want to start with a story. A number of years ago, when I was a pastor, for a long time I was a pastor in 3, 4 different locations, I was scheduled to officiate a wedding a little north of Boston, Massachusetts, in a pretty kind of fancy East Coast suit and tie wedding, one of these kind, yeah. And I'm up there. I'm at the hotel, which is also the wedding venue, about an hour before it's all going to begin. And I open my suitcase, and I see I've got my sport coat, I got my dress shirt, tie, slacks, shoes. Shoes. Forgot my dress slacks. In fact, the only thing I have by way of attire for my legs is my light wash jeans that I'm wearing at that moment as I'm looking down at the luggage. And like I said, very fancy East Coast wedding. I start to freak out. I act on the first impulse that comes to my mind. I race down the hallway, all the way into the lobby of the hotel, because I know that most of the guests are there for the wedding, and I start sizing up the guys. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, nobody is about my suit size, because I'm very serious about just like, hey, can we, just for the service, trade? I am the officiant. You can have your suit back afterwards. Nobody. So I run back down the hallway, back in my room. There my wife is, and she has opened her laptop and calmly confirmed that there is not much commercial real estate in this area. However, about 8 miles away, there's a Kohl's. Kohl's sells suits. Man, I race down the hallway into the rental car, jump in the car, and you know those, I don't know if you've ever been up there, but those windy backwood highways up in New England. Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. And I am just flying down one of these to get to Kohl's. And as I'm flying down the highway, I get Kohl's on the line. I say, hey, I need a suit. We sell suits. And I say to the woman, here's the deal. I actually need you to go ahead and just pick out a suit for me. I gave her my size and told her, and actually, here's the deal. Could you just have it sitting for me in the dressing room? The truth is, I got to go in there, change. I need to leave your store with that suit on. And I could tell just there's a kind of silence over the phone that comes back where this person has never received this kind of call before. And so I say, look, trust me, I'm going to be there in 10 minutes. This woman promises to have a suit ready. I park the car in the Kohl's parking lot. I run into Kohl's. I race over to the dressing room, and there's a suit. She's picked out one of those mafia suit numbers. Like I would not ever this, but like I can't debate style at this time. There's like no time. There's just not time. So I have 2 minutes, a whirlwind in that dressing room. I've got on the mafia suit, clothes I came with under my arm, swing open the door and start running to the cash register area where the only line that is currently open is rather long. Fortunately, a number of the people in line ahead of me, I mean, they see the literal beads of sweat on my forehead, and they're just like, would you want to go to the front? And I'm like, yes, you have no idea. I'm the officiant of a wedding at the top of the hour. And they're just looking at their watches like, I get to the front. Y'all, I forgot the wallet. Oh, no. Those suits have on those security tags. I jumped onto the cash register and flipped the back up for the cashier, and she takes that one out. I jump down, full-on hamstring stretch for the other one, for the leg. She takes that one off of me. Credit card swipe. Run out to the car. And then you know those New England backwood highways? Just gorgeous. Well, I'm back in the car, and this time it's kind of more like this. I mean, I get to the wedding venue hotel, park, and I am running. And I arrive, breathless, sweat pouring down my forehead, new mafia suit. 5 whole minutes before the wedding. On time. Thank you. It's amazing what we can pull off when we have to, isn't it? Have you known this moment? These times where, you got to cover down, you got to do the thing, you got to make, and it's big and it's important, and you have about this much time. Yeah. My experience of life these days, my experience with other leaders these days, organizations these days, is this is no longer a 1 or 2 time kind of moment story. This is the story a lot of people are living constantly these days. The crisis of our time, Dory said, hurry. We are just racing. I got to do this. It's all adds up to about this much stuff, and the timeline is this. Go. And we're on that highway. Making it happen. It's kind of a high in some ways in the short run. Come on. We got it. I call it the highway of how. How are we going to keep up? How are we going to get the suit? How are we going to get more members? How are we going to incorporate AI? How are we going to increase revenue? How? Go, 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 go. How? And we're showing up wedding suit perfect, right? To all appearances, we're doing good, we're holding it together. What about the lack of breath? What about the sweat on your forehead? Yeah. More and more people are realizing there is a cost to sustaining this way of being, not just as a 1- and 2-time event, but a way of life. How many of you are familiar with Gallup, the organization Gallup? They do a lot of massive surveys every year of all kinds of things related to the workplace and so forth. And their biggest one is their global workforce survey. What's the state of the workforce around the world and in each particular country? And they put out their most recent study shows U.S. employee engagement. People who are like, I'm in, let's do this. I'm fired up for the work. I'm here. Let's make it happen. Since 2020, was at 36%, so just over a third of employees kind of like, let's do this. The rest kind of either unengaged or partially engaged, but a little over a third. And it has just kept ticking downward in the last 5 years. People are stepping back from whatever that energy is that you experienced at the outset of this time together. They're just, more and more people are just not feeling it. Not regularly. It's going down. A lot of factors to that. One, the crisis of our time, this living on the highway of how. And you look at that and you say, and I should say managers in particular, just in the last year went down 3%. 30% to 27%. People in leadership positions especially are just like, whoa. It's a lot these days. You look at this one, the general one, you say, okay, well, you know what? It was only a percentage point last year, 33 to 32. Maybe it's slow, and maybe we can... You know, a percentage point is like the whole city of San Antonio, 7th largest city in the U.S., just piecing out. A little more than the city of San Antonio. Just like, I mean, that's a big percentage point to lose. Yeah? They also asked, same survey, how are you doing in life? Just life, thriving in life. Since 2020, people just, that answer about, but since I'm thriving, has just been going down. And you're like, 52%. I mean, how do you, is the glass half full, empty? How do you, since they've been asking that question the last 20 plus years, that's the lowest the score's ever been. Something's in the water. Now, we could sit around and name a few factors. But among them, one that keeps rising to the surface, both in these surveys, my own experience with leaders and life and organizations, even what I'm hearing some yesterday, the sense that there's just a lot. And it starts to add up when you are just constantly never stopping going, is there another way? Is there another way to show up and find whatever that energy we tapped into so briefly at the outset of this time together? Is there another way? And I want to invite you for the remaining of the time we have together to that other way, that other possibility of being and growing in these times on the highway. Where I want to invite you in particular is the one thing I missed entirely. Well, I was just racing on the highway of how. I have got to get that suit. I have got to get to the wedding. What did I miss the entire time I am in that blurred moment? The scenery. And what particular was there in the scenery? A police officer. Probably, but I think I would have found out if a police officer was in my scenery. The trees. Oh my gosh. Have you ever seen a tree hustle? I have never seen a tree hustle. And yet, look at them. They must know something about growing in season and out of season unto an enduring kind of beauty and strength and nourishment and hospitality. I have never seen a tree hustle, and yet they know something about the kind of growth that changes the landscape for good for generations. Trees, they know of a different kind of growth. And so it's towards the trees that I want to invite us the remainder of this time. What do trees know about a different way of growing that is energized, that pulls from whatever we felt at the beginning of this time, that has a way of growing in season and out of season, has a lasting, powerful influence, leaves a legacy all across the landscape? What's? Tell me about that growth as compared to the hustle on the highway growth. And so we're going to move towards the trees. My invitation is, all right, what if we as a gathering this morning parked our car on the side of the highway, threw the keys in turned the car off, threw the phone in the glove box, and just walked into the trees and just looked at three aspects of what makes for a great, growing, vitalized tree. How might it inform how we show up in the world? And you get close to the trees, and one of the fundamental things about great trees, deep roots. Deep roots. Their secret is not more speed. Their secret is deep roots. What's that mean? How many are familiar with this book? 10x is easier than 2x. Just a couple people, that's great. How world-class entrepreneurs achieve more by doing less. Basic thesis, fascinating book. Most of us try to grow incrementally. Okay, I'll do this, a little better this year. Yeah. And I'll keep juggling all the same balls, but maybe I can juggle them just a little better. So you really want to grow? You really want to grow? Consider where you want to be in a year or two. Oh, I'd love 10% more members, 10% more revenue, Now envision what 100% of that number is. 10x that. Oh, 100% more revenue than, right? That's insane. Members, more, that's insane. Say, okay, yeah. Now you start with a vision where it's so big, you know that your current way of operating could actually never get there. You feel the insanity of that. We just can't do it. And so you realize the only way you can do it is by risking letting go of a lot of the things you're trying to do, all the how questions you're trying to answer, how are we going to, letting go and saying, okay, we're going to have to honor with most of our time what they call your unique ability. It's where you're most confident, energized, and valuable. They say, you want to really grow? You want to see a different kind of vitality? Start with who? Start by rooting deeper into who you are like a tree. It's not about fitting more hours in the day. If only I had 25 hours in the day, then we could grow. It's not about breadth. It's depth. What if you honor deeply the singular thing only you can do? That's the magic ticket for your individual and your marina's collective growth. So you're like, okay, I think I'm sort of getting this theoretically. Here's a little template to help you think about it, and then we're gonna have some feedback from y'all. It's a joy skill matrix, and at the bottom, low skill, low joy. Things you're not good at, things honestly you don't enjoy. Anyone have something come to mind and be like, here's something I don't love, and honestly I'm not good at it. Anyone going to be humble and just say, here it is? Golf! Golf! Low joy, low skill. Don't put me out there. Thank you.
I was going to say AR.
AR! I hate collecting. Like, no, and I'm not good at it, and no, please stop. Yeah. Now, you sit in this corner, and some people, we all know something of this corner. If you don't sooner than later delegate, find a way for someone who actually is good and enjoys some aspects of it, you're done. This is actually a burnout arena if you live there too long. That's not you. None of that energy you experienced at the outset of this morning is there in that quadrant. You're exhausted if this is where you're sitting most of the time. Low joy but high skill. This is kind of like, you know what? I'm not bad at it. I'm better than most of the people in the room. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. Someone's got to do it. I'll do it. You know that sentiment? It's what I call adulting. Right? It could be as simple as, hey, someone's got to do the laundry. Someone's got to do the taxes. Someone's got to do what. It could be a lot of things. And it's true. We got to adult some in the world. No doubt. No doubt. But I would say that a good majority of adults, in my experience, probably spend around 80% of their time in that quadrant. Someone's got to do it. I got to do it. I'm better than most of the people around here. But what's the cost of so rarely harnessing whatever energy we experience at the outset together, rooting down into something different, something that's uniquely us? Okay. Now the other side of the quadrant. Low skill, you're not good at it, but you know it's kind of fun. A few years ago, I started piano lessons for the first time in my life. You genuinely do not want to hear me play the piano. I'm awful. Like it's not a thing. It's not like, oh, show us what you've learned. No, it's kind of fun. I'll be honest. It's kind of an interesting challenge. Or the church I used to serve in Georgetown, Texas, most recently. I'd never had a podcast, never done a podcast. Nobody on staff had ever put together a podcast. We as a team put together a podcast to kind of relate into the community a little differently, and it was awful at first. It was just like, we don't know what we're doing. This is weird. Everything's coming out strange. We forgot about this and that. It was a lot of fun for our staff just to try and see what happens and let ourselves be free to experiment. I will tell you, if you want to energize your team, this is one of the best quadrants a leader can invite. Hey, what if we just try it? There's no pressure. Let's just see what we learn. People love the sense like, we're not good at this. We're naming it, but we think this could be fun. Now that starts to tap in a little bit of the energy you found at the outset of this time together. And so for your team, they're like, okay. There's something freeing about this quadrant. And you know where we're going. There it is. You're good at it. You're honestly uniquely good at it. And yeah, it might be hard. It might be challenging. It might be some of the hardest work you do when you're using this. But man, is it good. It is rewarding. To root deeply in that tree, in that quadrant, there's the difference for your 10x growth. That's the magic. The more you honor that top right percentage quadrant, the greater your growth, the greater your impact. The tree energy, not the hustle energy that's invited, especially by the delegation adulting. Got to do more with less time, more with less time, more with less time. What if we stopped about how much we could fit in 16 hours and went, how deeply can we honor that top quadrant? So, that in mind, I want you just to turn, maybe the same person you talked to earlier, maybe you want to mix it up and just talk to that person. What do you sense? You may not know it perfectly. You may be like, I don't know what this guy's talking about. Say that to your person. What do you sense as your unique ability? I genuinely want you to share that for a moment with someone else next to you, and I want them to share back. Go. Now last 30 seconds for the first person, and then make sure you switch so the other person can at least say a little about their unique ability too. About a minute more for that second person, or somehow you haven't already switched. Make sure you do that so another person can talk. Okay, wrap up your sentiments. I know that goes kind of fast. All right, I'm gonna step in. I can tell there's stories unfolding, so I hate to do that. But let me pause this for a minute. And honestly, same questions as earlier. Just even that brief moment where you probably didn't get to say nearly as much as you could or wanted to. What was the experience of sharing or attempting to share your unique ability? No wrong answers. What was the experience? A little awkward. That's honest. A little awkward. Maybe a little vulnerable or something. Okay, yeah. Anything else? What else? Good. This is kind of good to share my unique ability.
Brought it into focus from you.
Oh, it brought it into focus.
It was down with all these other issues, and it came up into the light.
Okay, and it came up into the light. Okay, it was no longer kind of theoretical. It's like, oh, here it is. Here, I can clearly see this focus of what I bring. Yeah. What was, same question, what that we explored earlier, what was it like to hear another's unique ability? What words come to mind? Kind of interesting. Okay, yeah, okay, echo that. Anything else? What else? Understanding, revealing. Oh, it felt vulnerable to hear another open up like that. Vulnerable. What's that? No. Nothing. Confirming. Yeah. Almost the way that kind of. Again, there's just a different energy when you start to share from this place. This isn't like, how much can you do in your waking hours of the day and cram it in and knock it out? This feels like you're rooting into something with a different kind of depth and flavor and energy. You use different words to describe whatever this energy is. And then, of course, what would it look like, even in this coming week, to say, you know what, I'm gonna at least start an experiment of 10%. What if I could show up even next week? It's about 48 minutes a day. If you 40 hours a week, yeah, that may be laughable to some of you, but I'm just going with that for now. Yeah. What would it look like to honor that quadrant? What would it look like to see more of that? What only you can do. Show up in your life and your work. Second thing about great trees, they have deep roots, right? Healthy deep roots, they grow by going deeper, not racing. They are a gift of fresh air. You remember Dory talking some about breath yesterday? Yeah, a great tree provides great oxygen. They're just a gift the way they breathe, right? Let's go back to my story for a second. You're standing there, you open the suitcase, it's an hour before the wedding, you see that you have almost everything you need, and oh my gosh, you literally do not have pants, and you are leading the entire fancy wedding. You're in my shoes. What are some words that come to mind of what you are experiencing in that moment of recognition? Panic. Panic. Any other words? Oh, anger? Okay. Pissed at myself or something, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm terrible. Yeah, anger, panic, what else? Disappointment. Oh my gosh, yeah. Panic is kind of an elevated version of anxiety, would be the broad word that probably holds a lot of these. And let me ask you this. When you experience anxiety in your workplace or life, anywhere, or even panic, where do you notice you carry it in your body? There's no right answer. Just where do you? Oh, you carry it in your face. Is there like kind of a scrunch or kind of thing, or? Okay. Where do you carry your anxiety? Shoulders. Okay, like yeah. Huh? Anyone kind of along here? Chest, throat. Some of that. You know what? This is kind of fascinating. The Latin root word for our word that we now use, anxiety. The root of that word. To choke, narrow, or tighten. We don't just feel our emotions. They live in our bodies. They close off our face, our shoulders, our breath pass way. We literally stop breathing the same way. Dory in particular highlighted this, and both Dory and Paula talked about our presence when we show up as either here or open to possibility. Well, anxiety constricts. Do you remember what I did in my heightened anxiety stage? I recognize I don't have the pants. What was the first thing I did? Do you remember? Ran! Fight, flight, or freeze. I don't know if you would call that fight or flight, but I was doing both because I was running on anxiety, just like, go. Okay. Now, oppositely, the root Latin word for breath, that space where suddenly you've expanded. You're not tight, contracted, slowly becoming less and less of yourself. You're breathing again. Check this out. When you can breathe, you're coming home to yourself. You're coming home to whatever that energy was that you experienced at the outset of our time together and your unique ability sharing. When you can breathe, you come back to a different self. Remember Dory in the stall and she took a breath and then she could hear her wiser self, she said? Breath brings us back to something central about just who we uniquely are. And then, so do you remember? I come back to my room, I'm freaking out. Do you remember what my wife was doing? Just like, okay, what are the options? You kidding me? Same situation. There are no pants. One person's like, ah! The other person's like, so? What's possible here? Same scenario. What was the difference?
You forgot the pants.
Well, I forget. That's true. You forgot it. She didn't screw up. Fair. She could breathe. Now you could say she could breathe because she wasn't responsible. Fair, but hey, we're all in positions of responsibility. The art of leadership is figuring out how to hold the responsibility and breathe. She could breathe. She was kind of like, okay, well, what's possible then? Breath. Oh my gosh. Difference maker. Saved the day actually for us. Little exercise. Pen and paper. This is where you want it. Kudos to Charlotte for giving me a sweet pink speaker for this moment that we're gonna have together. And what I want you to do is, we're going to kind of practice a little bit of what it is to be a fresh of breath air amidst all the crazy. I want you to, this is a marina association, come on. We're going to draw a boat that represents your life today. Now, it could be a rowboat, sailboat, it could be a yacht, it could be a motorboat. I don't care what kind of boat, you decide. You decide if the waters are calm or choppy. You decide if there's a storm above you or the sun above you. You decide if the boat has holes. You decide if the boat has millions of people on it, only has 2 people, has 1 person. You decide if the boat is functioning. You decide if it's not. You decide if half the boat is a wreck, your home life or your work life, and half the boat is shining. You decide. You're not going to need to share this with anybody, I promise, because I want you to be honest. It's important. What's your boat look like today? Size, scale, weather, you do whatever you want. You've about 2 minutes. This is important. Again, you're not going to share this with anybody. And while we're doing that, we're going to just rock a little If I Had a Boat by Lyle Lovett, all right? Okay, so you can have something that connects to the boat sensibility. And I am going to reconnect my Bluetooth to you. There it is. And you can go, and I will have this playing in just a moment. Change, come on.
And we could all drown and go out on the ocean, set me up on my pony, on my boat. If I were a Rogers, I'd sure not be single. I couldn't bring myself to marry an old lady. Would it just be me and Trevor kiss my ass, I bought a boat. I'm going out to sea. And if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride on my boat. And we could all together go out on the ocean. On my pony, on my boat. And if I were like lightning, I wouldn't need no sneakers. Well, I'd come and go whenever I would please. And I'd scare 'em by the shade tree and scare 'em by the light pole, but would not scare my pony on my boat out on the sea. And if I
All right. We'll pause there. So hopefully you've got a boat coming together, if not completely done. You chose it. You're not having to share with anybody. All right, next step. We've got a boat. Represent your life, however imperfectly or undone. That's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Next step in our little exercise here. Who's heard of box breathing? No, that's okay. It is also among the Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs are trained on this, called combat tactical breathing. It's the exact same thing. I'm about to share it with you, about to show it to you. And they train on this because it is how, amidst the significant level of responsibility and unknowns, they bring themselves back into the moment, into their highest and best self that they're going to need to harness in the chaos. This is the exercise. You breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ideally breathing from the belly, not the chest. You hold for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. You exhale for 4 counts. You hold for 4 counts. You see how that's a box? Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. I'm going to lead it 3 times, just 3 times. We're just going to try it on. You may not like it. You may love it. You might think it's a little awkward. It's whatever it is. We're just going to try it 3 times. All right. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Apologies for the poor prompting in that last third one. Regardless, okay. You let yourself inhale and exhale just a little differently than you would do normally in the day. Just 3 of these. You could do 6 of them or a few more, just a couple minutes worth. And okay, we breath. Now here's the next part of this exercise. I want you to choose some less than ideal aspect of your boat. I want you to look at it and say, okay, I put holes there, didn't I? Or the storm there, didn't I? Or the person there that I don't want on the boat, or the person there who is driving me nuts, or the person who's not on the boat. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the less than ideal aspect of your picture is. There might be 10 of them. Pick one. Pick one. Pick one. And here's the question I want you to ask yourself, and you're not going to share this with anyone. I just simply want you to reflect on it. If you want to write a little note to yourself in the margins, you're not sharing this. What are 3 ways that exact thing that I wish that were not there on the boat right now or around the boat right now is a gift? Risk that question to yourself. Just a few moments right now, just quietly.
Go out on the ocean, set me up on my pony, on
All right. Don't need details. Don't need to know about your boat, what you pointed to. I just want to know, what was it like to sit for just a couple of moments with the question of 3 ways this less than ideal thing is a gift? What was it like? Again, I don't need particulars. Just what was it like? What was that, Charlotte? Thought-provoking. Enlightening. Okay, there's that light bulb thing again. What's up?
Changes perspective.
Okay, changes perspective. Yeah. Now, can you imagine, think of that less ideal thing, and you're feeling how much you don't like it. You're just feeling it in your body. And what if I, in the midst of that, and I said, okay, yeah, you are upset. This is awful. I can't stand this. I want this away. And I go to you, how's that a gift? How do you respond to me?
That's how it felt.
Yeah, like, you jerk. Don't ever ask me that question. It's terrible. Probably did. We had to kind of go kind of fast. Breathing, coming back to yourself first before you engage the crazy, that is what facilitates the possibility of a different perspective. This is the art of great leadership in chaotic times. It's the leaders who can see the crazy, honor a different kind of breath, and then say, whoa. Maybe there's another way to see the fact that we don't have the wedding pants here. Maybe there's a whole different perspective on this thing. That's the art of great leadership. What you have, of course, is your amygdala quieting down by way of breath, and your executive functioning, your prefrontal cortex coming alive by way of breath. That's what the brain is happening when you find breath again. And then you can engage the crazy on the boat at a whole different kind of perspective. I bet you could name a host of ways that help you regain breath. Maybe breathing exercises aren't your thing. Maybe walks in nature are your thing. Maybe prayer, meditation, exercise, music. I bet you can name some things that are breath for you. Sitting down at the marina without doing anything. I don't know what it is for you. I bet you know. But here is the art of really tree leadership that roots differently, breathes differently, and changes the atmosphere and the landscape around them. They're the kind of people who have challenges on the boat. They can name them. But before they engage, before they step in with their next, what are we going to do? They find their breath. They honor their breath. They know that's coming back to their soul, their spirit, their singular way. And then they risk the craziest question in the world because they're a leader willing to flex to a new perspective. You heard Dory and Paula name this in so many ways yesterday. Great leaders in this age, they breathe the air differently. They are such a gift to the room. They are trees that give oxygen. The third and final thing about great trees, healthy trees, thriving trees, they're not only deeply rooted in giving oxygen, you ever notice they're often surrounded by other trees? Look outside. The thriving trees around here are because they are mutually nourishing one another's roots, are they not? One tree gets sick, other ones just start sending nutrients to that tree. They can't help it. They are codependent. They need each other for the thriving forest. And that's the last thing I want to leave you with. It's simply that great thriving trees, this is not an individual endeavor. You nourish one another's roots. And one of the most powerful ways you nourish one another's roots is this. There was studies done. 4 massive employee motivation studies done between 1946 and 1992. A woman named Dr. Caroline Wiley at Roosevelt University compiled and studied these thousands of employees over different generations. And the question over and over in these 4 different surveys over this massive time span was, what motivates you to do your best work? What nourishes your roots so that you're showing up, let's do this? Is it pay? Is it time off? Is it culture? Is it trust? Is it the work itself? What motivates your best work? Only one response across all the generations, the major studies, showed up either number 1 or number 2 every single time. One response. Appreciate me for the work done. That's Dr. Caroline Wiley. Those are the 4 years of these massive employee motivation studies. Time and again. And then only one response that came in number 1 or number 2 every time. Recognize me for the work I've done. Better Up, massive organization, did a study of 1.7 employees across sectors, nonprofit, for-profit. What helps you show up at your best? What's your best motivator? They did this from 2018 to 2020. Check this chart out. You don't need to read all the details if you can't. The biggest pie, and it's not even close. Recognize me. When I'm recognized for the work I'm doing, I'm alive. Yeah, pay matters and autonomy, and there's a lot of things that matter. It's not even close what's number 1. what nourishes people's roots when they are recognized. I want to honor your time, so I won't make this a discussion, but I invite you to reflect on when recognition has happened recently in your workplace. Small, big. And what makes for meaningful recognition? Some people really do appreciate when there's sort of a public moment. Some people like never public. But a note means everything. I will tell you this, across the board, whether it's private, it's public, it's quiet, it's loud, a million ways to do it. You all know that. Two things. The what matters. It's not like, hey, they took the project and they just knocked it out of the park. Thank y'all. What a great team. Over here, team. I mean, that is vague and full of cliches. Nobody got named. That is, you know what they did? They started with assignment. And you get particular about the what happened. Great leaders nourish the recognition through specific what. They did this and then they did this. They had to navigate this. And then they name by name every person who was part of whatever that is. And, next level leadership, you name the who. The unique energy of that person. In that what, I saw your creativity. You bring such a level of care to your work. It's not just doing work. I felt the energy, the care and thoughtfulness you brought when you brought the leaders that could talk to the who in their recognition, not just the what. Now the roots are getting nourished. Thank you for nutrients I can't get on my own. We need it. Here's what I'll offer. I bet there's someone that may be coming to mind. What if it's not an accident? They may be in your household. They may be at your marina. They may be here. I've never met a person who's been recognized too frequently. It may be a text message, a handwritten note, a gift, a kind of a moment, staff meeting next week. I don't know. But I just invite you to think, what if that's not an accident, that here in this moment, I thought of this, my tree, and this proximate tree, and maybe there's something. And then we're not too far from the end of the year, but we're just in time that you probably can think of something, hey, we can get in front of us. Their 10-year anniversary is coming up. The end of that project's coming up. Their 1-year anniversary is coming up. The beginning of their employment's coming up. The 25th year is coming. I don't know, but maybe you're just in time to catch something, because you know that's what nourishes the trees. Let me end with this. A couple weeks after the wedding, I was back in Richmond, Virginia, where we lived at the time, and I drove to the local Kohl's store, and I returned the mafia suit. Which I felt kind of like a jerk. Like, afterwards, I was like, they did me a solid. I should definitely have kept the suit. And now I wish I could show it to you. Like, I'd be up here in this presentation wearing it, being like, this is the suit. But in another sense, it kind of works. Because a big part of my invitation for you today is what if you return the suit? What if on this crazy highway of hell that has you going, go, 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 I've got to get the suit, I've got to make it happen, what if you just dropped it? At least set it lower on the priority list, all the things you have going, and say, hold up. Maybe the most important thing I could do with my time, this marina, my family, my life, is actually to drop all of this for a moment and step into the woods and say, hold up, who am I at my highest and best? What is that? I'm going to let all the crazy be answered first by how to honor this energy. And I'm going to get some breath, because I'm going to show up different. I'm going to show up in a life-giving way for myself and others. Yeah, I'm going to get breath. Yeah. And I'm gonna name what it is to nourish the roots around me, because that changes the landscape for the long term like nobody's business. The invitation is really, what if we pull off the highway and say our best future as individuals, as families, as communities, as marinas is truly grown unto a flourishing, not only today, but for generations, by being the people in these crazy, chaotic, hurried times who say, we're rooting different. We're pulling from a different energy. This is our gift to the world for such a time as this. May it be so in your lives. May it be so in your marinas. I am honored to have been with you today. If you want to stay in touch, I do a weekly leadership newsletter, and you can sign up on that QR code if you do it. And you get a bonus resource if you just answer 2 questions. I loved this thing. I hated this thing Bobby did. That's what I used with my coaching folks about how to root down regularly, time and again, within yourselves to show up in the ways we've discussed today. Love to share that resource. Love to have your feedback. Thank y'all.